kick it off with NFL news. And Ron, I put this in there. The refs strike again. Mahomes loses it on national TV. Loses it so bad that he tells Josh Allen, and on top of that, he goes on the podium and just spills his guts. So I don't want to knock him for doing that, but at the same time, come on, dude. I like you've been there.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock him. Like, give me a break, right? He's like, his team are the ones who've probably been on the right side of officiating for the past 2 or 3 years. The NFL wants, Mahomes in the Super Bowl. You can't tell me the NFL doesn't want, Kansas City to be there. So give me a break. The refs in this situation, they made the right call. So, for him to go out there and Reed to go out there and embarrass themselves, it was horrible. I think there's other teams that have real grievances. Steelers, there was a bad call in the Steelers game.
Terrible call.
And officiating has just been poor, right? It's not to say that they've been good, but in that specific incident, I think the refs were in the right, and shame on Mahomes and Reed for looking like clowns.
They did look bad, and I know that the next day they walked it back because obviously the team wasn't, the whole organization was embarrassed by it, so they walked it back. But it sheds light on, we're week 14. What the hell are the refs doing? I know that this call was legit, but this been called.
Yeah, officiating has been terrible, plain and simple. It's been atrocious. I think the owners need to make Goodell address it and fix it. And I don't know what the solution is to fixing it, but they gotta, whether it's like replay, stuff like that. I don't know, but it's, it's been bad. Critical calls at critical times. That's impacting, the game, like who wins the game, who loses the game. That should not happen.
It should not happen at all, because if I know that your competitive juices are flowing and you're in this tight game and every play counts, so it's like, is it Kansas City against the Bills, or is it Kansas City against the Bills against the refs? It's like they insert themselves in the game, and I know that this was a legit call, but as you mentioned earlier, what happened with the Pats Steelers game?
Yeah, that was a terrible call. And it wasn't the first time on special teams for the Steelers game that officials have blown it. In the fourth quarter for the Steelers, it was a false start call on the snapper. They said he moved. He didn't move anything that was abnormal, right? And that was a huge play. That happened again 4 or 5 weeks ago, late in the game against the Steelers. So. What can you say? Like, and it's not just the Steelers. Hey, it's happened across the entire league. There's been like horrific officiating, and to our knowledge, there's no consequence, right? There's consequences for players who go out and speak up against the officiating, and coaches that go out and speak against, officiating and get fined and stuff like that. But there's no consequences, as far as we're aware, for officials who jack up, make some really, really bad calls in the middle of a game.
And I just saw in the news that Roger Goodell defended the refs, telling them that they're doing a good job amidst all this negative press.
He's there to make, to sell a product, right? To make, the NFL seem like, everything is great. There's nothing bad happening here. That's what he's there for. Whether it's with officiating or, any like off the field issues with certain players, he's going to try to, scrub it under the carpet, if you will, and pretend it doesn't exist. So, but I think the owners need to step up and say, hey, this is bad. It's costing my team a win. Like, we can't have this. We got to be better.
Yeah, they have to be much better. The other set of news is, Ron, the NFL is playing in Brazil. Why? Why are they playing? Brazil is not football, at least American football crazy.
Yeah.
Soccer reigns supreme in Brazil. So why?
Well, you know the answer to that.
Why? What's the answer?
Money. Everything comes down to money at the end of the day. So I don't know how money is impacting this, but it's money. I can tell you that.
Listen, I need to the scrutiny. I understand Europe because, that game, we're just trying to spread the love, right?
So time, let me forget about Europe, right? How come we haven't had a game in Canada? They play football in Canada. They play American football or Canadian football in Canada. Same sport for the most part, right? Rules slightly different. We can't.
But they have their own league. So that would be. It would be like me setting up another NBA team.
That's not. They don't play at the same time. It is.
No, they're not going to touch the Canada. However,
Hawaii, put a game in Hawaii.
Hawaii is different. They have the university. But what I'm saying is this: what is in Brazil? They don't know the rules. They don't know how it works. They just. It's perplexing to me that that was actually in there. Voted by the owners. So it's like whatever team they pick to go, you're gonna lose a home game. Mm-hmm. So what's to me is completely nonsense that they're playing in Brazil.
It's
nonsense.
It's got to be about the money. That's what it always comes down to at the end of the day. And I don't know if Brazil paid some sort of transaction fee to have the game, but I feel like it's like
FIFA move.
That's basically exactly what FIFA does, right? That's what the Olympics. That's how it happens, right? There's a lot of crooked stuff that happens with the Olympic bidding as well. So I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense. But it never really made sense for them to be in Germany or Mexico, to me, to be honest with you.
It makes sense in Europe because I know that they want to branch out. They want a couple of teams in Europe. I don't know how they're going to do it. But in Brazil, it just doesn't make sense. Do they want more fans? I don't know. It's very perplexing to me.
Yeah.